Hey everybody, it's Yusef for Video Game Plot Summaries, and this is Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. We've gone through more than half the plot summary, and so far it's been a bunch of fetch quests and a bunch of puzzles and one boss, which was just like not even a real. It was weird. We didn't fight up to the boss. We happened to do a fetch quest that led to a boss. Very awkward. But this game is kind of awkward in its storytelling that way. It's endearing though. Anyway, where we last left off, Urbane the archaeologist, who is trapped in a temple, he lets Sphinx know about the Rosetta Stone that he can't get because he's too dang old to do it. So, of course, Sphinx, fulfilling his role in the prophecy, goes ahead and gets the Rosetta Stone, brings it back to Urbane, and Urbane goes, yay! And then he leaves and goes back to Bordwin, whatever the heck it was called. And now we're at the point where Sphinx is about to head over there himself to meet up with Urbane. All right? So through the underwater cave and down the desert shore, Sphinx goes until he arrives at Urbane's tent in Bedouin. Urbane has pieced the Rosetta Stone together and hands it to Sphinx so he can check off the second thing on the fortune teller's list: find and decipher the obelisks. The Sphinx finds all 5 of them, records the text, and brings it back to Urbane, who pieces together the prophecy and about poops his pants when he sees that Sphinx is named in it. Sphinx already knew this, so I mean, this is probably the reason for the smug face. A little moment of ponderment here. I think that it's weird that there is a prophecy. It automatically tells us at home that this person is destined to succeed. However, it doesn't really tell us how much the hero is going to lose in the process. It's just so crazy that no one seems to have a choice in some bare-bones story that some fortune teller forced down the ears of someone powerful enough to make other people care. Here, the gods themselves believe the prophecy and are acting accordingly. To me, that is crazy that the gods believe in fate. You would think that when it gets that far up the ladder, the gods would just tell everyone that they create fate. Maybe they make the prophecies and sit back and wait for them to come true. Probably ain't got nothing else better to do. At any rate, the villain in this story has such a weird choice. It's either their job to go against prophecy, which never works, or believe in the prophecy and try to find a loophole in which they can capitalize. Like the prophecy says that Sphinx will rise up and defeat Set. But what if Set knew this and bought a huge stock in a construction company and then used his persona as Akhenaten to secure the building contracts for Heliopolis? That's some Lex Luthor level stuff right there. Well, actually, Lex Luthor creates real estate and then drives up the prices due to exclusivity, but you get the idea. Anyway, once Urbane figures this out, he gives Sphinx the magic statue to unlock the Great Obelisk. Sphinx goes there and unlocks it to discover a canopic vase. From a puzzle-solving perspective, the prince's part of the game is excellent. It's like a whole nother game, but man, as far as the story is concerned, you almost forget he's even in the story when those vases pop up out of nowhere. Free the farm boys, here's a vase. I don't have a bag that holds herbs, but I have a vase. Takes me hours to work my way up to unlocking some mysterious obelisk in the middle of the desert. It starts glowing majestically and here's a vase. Well, time to wake up the dead prince and stand around until he sends me something back. So Prince Tut goes through a pretty epic puzzle, I mean, he gets chopped into three, set on fire, and electrocuted. Then has to maneuver his way around crazy platforms while on a timer, then has to solve an extra puzzle before that same timer runs out. It's so much crap, the sarcophagus has to reluctantly give him props. The prince gets the hands of a moon, which makes Sphinx strong enough for the third task on the fortune teller's list. Once Sphinx gets the hands, he goes to the area with the big stepping stones and moves them all to get into the Great Wall Entrance the third. Or the Great Wall Entrance 3. He's the son of the Great Wall Entrance. Anyway, don't ask me about where the first two came from. He gets past that to the Uruk Islands and runs into this crazy looking coyote guy with an eye patch that says that he's friends with Imhotep. This guy tells Sphinx that in order to find the crown of Uruk, he needs to face trials that test his mind, body, and spirit, as if that isn't what he's been doing the whole time he's been on this stupid quest. In the meantime, Set entrusts the sacred crown of Uruk to the Geb Queen in a shelter that is one of the Uruk Islands. What a coinky-dink. I mean, if the prince is sneaking around stealing things in the castle, it makes sense to put the crown outside. I guess the rest of it is up to that prophecy, though. So Sphinx makes it through the trials and onto the insect-looking Geb Queen lady who says Set will annihilate Sphinx. Yeah, right, lady. Once Sphinx puts his hands on the sacred crown of Uruk, that same light comes to him and tells him again he doesn't understand the power of the crown. He goes back to Anubis, who finally fills him in on the story. You see, there's a god that runs everything by the name of Ra. Now, Ra is split up into good and evil. The good part is named Osiris, and the bad part is named Set. They live in perfect harmony, but Set always wants more because he is evil, obviously. Set inevitably launches his plan to suppress Osiris and was succeeding until Sphinx came along and started mucking up Set's plans by interrupting Prince Tut's mummy ceremony. So with that said, Anubis hands Sphinx 3 more cursed stones so he can keep destroying Set's plans, and tells him that the next step is to get the sacred crown of Heliopolis from the cursed palace itself. He also jokes that the pharaoh should be happy to see him. I know, right? The first stone Sphinx uses frees a lady who has lost her chihuahuas. Sphinx catches and returns the chihuahuas, and the lady gives him a canopic face. Yeah, sure, whatever. Once the prince is revived again, he finds that he is not alone. There is a visitor locked in a cage. This prince finds the key and frees him. The visitor then reveals that he is not a visitor at all. He is a native Urukite named Kensu. He was thrown in the dungeon because someone has been stealing the Abydosian jewels, and they found Kenzu. Apparently, there are others hiding within the palace, and he's afraid they will be found eventually. After that explanation, Kenzu finds an exit for him and the prince. Of course, this leads Kenzu home, but puts the prince in a huge puzzle. It would have been cool if Kenzu helped Prince Tut. The prince finds an invitation to see the pharaoh and gives it to Basket. When Sphinx gets the invitation, he uses one of his cursed stones on the guards outside the throne room. Once they see that he has the invite, they let him in to see the pharaoh. Now, the Heliopolis crown is just sitting there, but of course Sphinx can't just steal it, so he wakes the pharaoh up with the last cursed stone. The pharaoh is pretty pissed that Anubis turned him in the stone and reveals that the clever god was onto him and stopped his plans. Then he grabs the sacred crown and runs into the basement. Another dead end. What's up with these dead ends, man? Sphinx gives chase, and when he catches up to Pharaoh, Pharaoh announces that he's returning the crown to Lord Set and transforms into a panther humanoid spider thing. Sphinx throws a bunch of rocks at him and kicks his butt. Right then, he gets the crown and is greeted again by the white light, whom we now know is Osiris. In the meantime, the rest of the Urukites found out about the mummy from Kinzu and retrieved a canopic vase that they had laying around somewhere. They rest their future within Prince Tut and tell him that Set has a ray that gives him power. If the prince can stop the ray, then Set will be weakened. The Urukites take Tut to yet another huge puzzle where he finds the last of the stolen Abydosian jewels and the ray he needs to turn off. Oh, it's the ray that shoots out of the castle and stops Imhotep's power from the beginning of the game. Sphinx stops the ray and sees that the sacred crown of Uruk is what is powering it. He grabs the crown and starts to leave when Set shows up, and he's pretty pissed. Set shoots an electric bomb at the prince and freezes him in mid-jump. When Set tells the sleazy sorcerer to start the ray again, the sorcerer can't because the crown of Uruk has disappeared. So the sorcerer starts the ray again, only without all the crown's power. A few moments later, Basket appears to the Sphinx and gives him the crown. So now he has two crowns, the sacred crown of Heliopolis and the sacred crown of Uruk. Imhotep tells him that this is probably the end, so make sure to use the bathroom or whatnot before he goes. So after the Sphinx settles his affairs, he goes to present the crowns to Anubis. Anubis uses all the crowns to bring forth Ra. Real quick. Earlier in the game, Anubis says that Ra is the ultimate god and the combination of the good Osiris and the bad Set. So I'm pretty sure that this is not Ra, but Osiris. That's a pretty big mistake for the writers to make. But if I am wrong, please explain it to me in the comments. Anyway, Osiris is the maker of the prophecy of Ra, and Anubis is his guardian. So Osiris built the wall, separating Heliopolis from Uruk, and Anubis has been protecting the citizens from Set's monsters. Pharaoh, being a demon, made it necessary to curse the palace. At any rate, Osiris is convinced that Sphinx needs to finish the prophecy and tells Sphinx to jump into the lava to be transported to the castle of Uruk. So of course, even though Imhotep's power can reanimate a basket and allow him to teleport directly into the castle, the power of Osiris, one half of the most powerful god, can only get Sphinx slightly outside of the castle. So Sphinx still has to hot-foot it past a laser to get to the arena for the final battle. When he gets there, the canon is corrected when Set exclaims that his brother Osiris sent the Sphinx in his place because he's too much of a wussy. Well, enough talk. It's time to transform into something not as epic as one might think, and start the fight.
Pathetic creature, Osiris didn't tell you about my true form? Ha 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 ha! Now the time has come for you to die.
So that was the story. Here's the ending. All right, guys. We did it.
Excellent, Sphinx. You saved the mummy from Set's hands. Set has been severely weakened, but it's not his destiny to be destroyed. The world cannot exist without evil. Oh, just as the light of day needs to be balanced with the darkness of night. With Set weakened, he will not be able to fight. Oh shit. Come on now. With Set weakened, he will not be able to fight his true destiny. It's not fair if they all of a sudden let you know somebody's talking like halfway into your reading, man. To unite with his brother Osiris, this will restore the balance to the godly kingdom. Behold, the mighty Osiris has arrived. Finally, the ancient prophecy of Ra has been fulfilled. Light and darkness are one together. We will be able to live in harmony again. Sphinx and Tutankhamun, you have both been very brave to conclude this dangerous saga. How come Tutankhamun wasn't part of the prophecy, though? Sphinx, because of your actions and bravery, your name will go down in history and be remembered forever. Tutankhamun, I can give you the last canopic vase that will transform you back to your human shape and let you return to your kingdom, but nobody will remember your name. Thanks to both of you, balance will be brought to the worlds for many generations to come. More dangerous adventures will come in the future for both of you. No, they won't. But for the moment, rest and enjoy your triumph. Tutankhamun, I give you the last canopic vase with my gratitude. Don't worry, Tutankhamun. There must be another way to change you back. Perhaps other words will hold the key to your salvation. What? Oh, that's crap. We will help you find the answer. It's messed up. He was gonna get married and stuff, man. He had a beautiful wife and everything. That's ridiculous.
Alright, everybody. That was Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. The video game plot summary, of course. And what did you think about that ending, eh? It's just, you just want to bend over and let him get you one time, you know? Oh, it was garbage. Makes you want to search out the damn devs and punch them in the face. Oh, we spent all that time collecting canopic vases all over the place. Just happened to have the mummy's soul in it, just to give him that final canopic vase and have him, you know, fucking Three Stooges his way through that, some Charlie Chaplin slip and fall to mess up everything we've been working for all that time. What's gonna happen now? You know what I'm saying? There's no Tutankhamun, there's no brother. Nefertiti's just sitting out there and screwing servants or something. She's got nobody now, right? When they supposed to come back, you know, well, we tried our best. Unfortunately, your husband wasn't part of the prophecy, so, yeah, he sort of got a raw end of the deal, you know. Got himself, he married up. Even as a prince, he married up. You know, Nefertiti seems to like him. Didn't want to get with the stronger, bigger, better looking brother. She's like totally into getting with that goofy dude who crawls all over the castle looking for stupid amulets and stuff. You know what I'm saying? He had it made. You know, and then to find out that his brother was a god, like, yo, what happened to my other brother? Were you set this whole time, like, as a baby? Like, as we were growing up, you were set? That's playing the long game, man. Of course, he might have done the same thing, taking the brother, and then did that whole exchange. But if they did that exchange and got the brother, then why wouldn't they have done that with Prince Tutankhamun in the first place? Let the brother sit there and be like, I don't know about my brother. Maybe there's something wrong with him. I think he's possessed by a god. Anyway, it's just that story. Look, I really liked about the story. I really enjoyed the caricatures, I say caricatures, the cartoonish people, and the way that the all the animals were designed and stuff. But what I didn't really enjoy was the fact that they don't ever explain why there are two dimensions and how the Sphinx fits into either of them. Because the Sphinx is, quite possible. He's clearly half man, half amazing. No, half whatever, cat or whatever. Okay. So does that mean he can just float in and out of these different areas? If the castle of Uruk was connected to Heliopolis, then how come everybody in Heliopolis and the surrounding areas are animals? And how come everybody in the castle of Uruk was, well, not the castle of Uruk, but in the other dimension, the original castle? How come they were humans? Like, what's up with the dimension? Set belongs to two dimensions? What's the dimensional thing? Nobody knew about the extra dimensions? Is Sphinx the only one able to go to both dimensions? Because he showed up to save Prince Tut and now was in the other dimension. Didn't even have to get sucked into it. He went because Imhotep hooked him up. It's just so confusing. They set up a litany of fetch quests on the big, huge area filled with nothing in order to pad the time of this thing, and they didn't have much of a story to show for it. Just, it's a shame. The story was just revealed right at the end. It just kind of made it suck. This game gets a lot of credit from a lot of people. It's people like the puzzles and everything like that. And I gotta say, man, middling at best, middling to less than middling. At first I thought the game was cool because the way it looks is better than the way it plays. It feels like an older Xbox title, just like the rest of those things, the rest of the games in that era. But the other games in that era don't have puzzles like Tomb Raider. And Tomb Raider puzzles are frustrating because they're always like, well, you're trapped in a room solving a puzzle. And that's the one thing that they got rid of the next time they did more Tomb Raider stuff. I don't know. I haven't played those games, but I'm willing to bet, then just a bunch of weird coincidences, even in Tomb Raider, Laura picks up, she has a reason for being there. That thing leads to another reason for being there, but it's, 3 different places. It's 007. You know what I mean? Because to me, 007 always goes to 3 places in every movie. This one, it just didn't have the feels for me. You know what I mean? I didn't get what other people said was so great, and having that ending leave such a sour taste in your mouth, and knowing that there's not going to be a sequel, just kind of like, where nobody's calling for this sequel like they are for Good and Evil or whatever that game is. And that game sequel is finally coming out, and it's probably going to be nothing like the original. Hopefully it comes out so far later, and I'm dating this video, but hopefully it comes out so far later that people stop using microtransactions and ruining everything, and you can just play through the game. Because when I buy it late, I don't want to get screwed over knowing that I have to buy some stupid microtransaction to make the game worth something, in the past. But anyway, So yeah, that's it. That's all I gotta say about the game. Please tell me what you think in your comments below after I've summed up the whole thing. Yeah, let me know if it was a game you really liked, and I didn't do it any justice in that plot summary. Or let me know if it was a game you really liked, or was a game that you really disliked and thought I was dope, or any mixture of the two. But with that, I'll go ahead and sign off. Sorry it's taken a long time to get these out there. I write the scripts and then I don't have time to do the voiceovers because there is like no place I can be unless the children are asleep where I can go ahead and do the voiceovers. I would love for somebody else to do the voiceovers for me, and I'd churn out these scripts as fast as I humanly could and get the voiceover back, and then do the like the editing or whatever. Voiceover is definitely the most challenging part for me because it doesn't take too long. It's just every time I sit down with a microphone, somebody yells my name or busts in my door. Why are you talking so loud, Dad? Or they stand outside. They seem to stand right outside my door and have long-winded conversations, making me feel like they're eventually going to walk into the door, and it throws off the timing of my talking. So yeah, all of that. Anyway, you know what? Rant over. That's behind the scenes sort of stuff. And raspberry. Yeah, see you guys on the next video game plot summaries, and I believe the next one should be Mission Impossible, the video game sprung off the movie, with Steve Blum's cool voice being Ethan Hunt's voice, which I thought was awesome. Anyway, peace.